This is Ray West and
Rob Luca
of the New York City groove machine known as Spread Eagle, and you're listening to Talk About Rock. Let's go. Let's talk.
Today we have a power rock band formed in New York City. Spread Eagle quickly became a notable force in the rock world with their raw and powerful sound. And with their debut album, they gained critical acclaim, particularly for the hit single, Switchblade Serenade, which received significant MTV airplay. After the band's success of their debut, the band's influence and legacy have only grown stronger, allowing them to maintain a global following as they tour and bring their unique street metal sound to the audiences worldwide. And they're set to release their new album, The Brutal Divine, on June 12th via Frontiers Music. Now, let's welcome Ray West and Rob DeLuca from Spread Eagle. Guys, how's it going?
That intro was cool. I want to be a part of that band. That sounds cool.
That's how we roll here, man. So, Ray, good to have you here. Rob, good to have you here. Definitely. I don't know if you call Ray. We chatted a while back. You were working on a project with Steve Gordon, and I was like, got new Spread Eagle material coming out. Let's get you guys back. So let's jump in here, Ray. So the last release was the latest release, I should say. This is the first since Subways to the Stars in 2019. What can you tell us about this new album here? And was any of this material, demoed, originally written, or is this all brand new stuff we got here?
It's all brand new stuff. This was a work in progress over many years, and Robbie and myself and the rest of the guys, it was a collaborative effort. So we all put our feet forward on this. So it's we're very proud of this album. Robbie always has a little more eloquent than me. Go ahead, Rob, please.
Well, yeah, it's songs we haven't released. One of them was written a long time ago, and but they're new songs. We're excited about them. We think it's always getting back to the egg a little more and more, with each album of what we came out as and what our fans truly want and what we love also. It's a monster of an album. We're really proud of it. And we're out there pushing our new single, Flat Earth Vultures. There's a video for it, and please watch it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, definitely very cool. And we'll have the link to that video on our website in the Hall of Videos at talkingaboutrock.com. Definitely. So, Rob, I just wanted to chat a little bit about the sound here. So when you guys were putting together the songs, was it a conscious thing? Did you think about any the older material? Did you think about the sound of it was, or did you just say, Let's start fresh and new and just move forward? Was that in your mind at all?
Yes and no. We're always thinking about, the reality is this. When we play, our fans constantly come up to us and say, we want you to write stuff like the first album, Not that the other albums aren't fantastic. We stand behind them. We love all our albums. But most of our fans truly want that original energy. So that's always in our minds. And but this album was fueled by a live band. Like we've been on the road nonstop with this incarnation for 4 years, and we've done a ton of shows. We're doing about 60 shows a year, and we want to do more. We want to do 100 a year. So that fed into it and feeds into it, absolutely. And there's an energy to a live band that you don't get with a band that's not on the road.
Yeah.
Let me add that it would have been really easy to just sort of repeat ourselves like a lot of people do, But I think we're in evolution, And after doing all these live shows and understanding who we are and what we're capable of, going back to the egg, if you will, and taking that youthful exuberance that we used to have.
Right.
We're still very youthful, and we still love to write and create. It's such an important thing, as you know from our conversations before.
Yeah.
We love to put out new stuff. It's all part of the process. Without new stuff, you just have to rely on the old, and that's not fun.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of the classic bands always kind of fight with. Should we stay true more to our older sound? Do we want to progress? And have different sound? I think there's good and bad to both sides of it, but I definitely like to move forward and have a fresh take on it. I think that's the way to go for sure.
Yeah, and also landing on that thing that kind of makes you special in a way is always nice to have that right from that source.
Yeah, definitely. So another interesting thing about you folks, I was going through obviously some Spread Eagle history, and when you guys were signed, you were still rehearsing for your first gig when you guys got signed for the album. So you hadn't even played your first gig yet. I thought that was amazing.
It was crazy, through connections, we were getting ready to do a lot of gigs, actually. We could have just done the whole stale showcase route where you're sitting down, everybody drinks beer, and it's just very, very, very stale. So we got lucky in the sense that people would come down to the rehearsal space, and they would just sit them down in front of us and just hit them in the face. They saw they saw us in the reel, so that was pretty cool,
Right, and MCA, I think it was MCA signed you guys, right? Out of the gate, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a gentleman named Bruce Dickinson came in. Not Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson, but the very more cowbell Bruce Dickinson.
Always got to have that, definitely.
Also, it's important to say we have been trying to get signed for years and years in our respective bands, and we were all pretty sharp. And it was a matter of us coming together with Ray, and we were ready right away. So even though it's true, and I'm not making apologies, but even though it's true, we got signed after about 3 months of being together. We have been doing dozens of shows and showcases and trying everything to get a record deal, but we all needed each other. We needed Ray, and hopefully he needed us. He's still here, so hopefully it looks that way. We all needed each other to have that special ingredient, where all four people were strong and their own characters, like a Kiss or, a band like that, where the Beatles were, everyone has an identity and a strong input. So.
Right. I think that's super important.
Oh,
yeah, definitely super important. Yeah.
So we were ready. Even before our first gig, we were ready. We didn't have enough songs. We continued to write the album in the record plant, but we had a handful of songs, and we were ready.
Right. I find that interesting too, to kind of hear some of that. Back in the day, a lot of bands didn't have a lot of material. They wrote in the studio, and obviously we know that's super expensive to do nowadays, and everybody has home studios, and that's totally different. Another story which I find quite intriguing was Autograph, when they got on the Van Halen tour. They didn't even have a name yet.
Wow,
when they got asked to be on the tour, they came up with the name on the way to the show. So it's whatever works, whatever you guys got to do.
So Autograph obviously didn't have turn up the radio while they were touring. I mean, they might have it written, but it wasn't a hit when they were touring with.
No, they were just putting stuff together. They were just starting out. Yeah.
Did that come through like friendship or?
Yeah. One of their friends used to jog with David Lee Roth. Okay. So they were talking to him about him, from what I heard, and there's like, yeah, I know you're a singer. I'm familiar with your band. I was speaking with Steve Lynch from Autograph. And I just thought that was funny. I was like, you didn't even have a name. You guys, that's awesome.
We need a break like that.
Right,
something like that to happen for us.
Right, definitely. Well, you guys, like you said, you toured like crazy in the beginning, and actually kind of burned yourselves out a little bit, I guess, back in the day when it first kind of started going. Right, there was just a lot of crazy stuff going on.
I think we're one of the last bands that have that sort of tour bus culture. Everybody was given a tour bus, and it makes you crazy when you get on that thing.
Yeah, you had to have the Silver Eagle, right? That was you had made it once you had the Silver Eagle.
Oh my God! Right? Yeah, it was just It was just debauchery. Once the doors close on that thing, it's over. You could be your angels on, you can be angelic as hell, and you get on that thing and you become very demonic very quickly.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was loaded with a lot of ladies back in the day, so that always helps.
We
were
treated
single.
our front lounge like it was a disco, like it was Studio 54. We used to pack people in there. It was crazy. I'll stop there.
I don't want to give up anymore. So moving forward here, obviously in Spread Eagle history, in '95, you guys hung it up and split up, and you did some post Spread Eagle things, shall we say. Ray, you left the business for a while.
Oh yeah, it's
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you ventured into, or what was going on with you at all?
As many people know, most people, I ventured heavy into the drug scene. I became a professional drug addict. I tried my hand at that, did not work. Tried some off-Broadway stuff.
Tried hard though.
Comedy, and I still stayed in music. Rob became quite a workhorse, as he'll tell you, but I did what I could to stay creative and also stay high.
Yeah, Rob. So Rob, you had a band called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this even right, Ouija Pig, or you're gonna have to help me with that one.
I had a band called Ouija Pig. I had a band called Of Earth with Luca. Yeah, we were all still trying to, even Ray, even though he was trying different things, he had different bands. We were all still trying to recapture that magic that we had lost.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be creative in other avenues, of course. And Robbie stayed a true rock and roll. He was the smartest of all of us. So I followed him.
Yeah, so you did gigs with what I read here: UFO, Sebastian Bach, Joan Jett, George Lynch, Vinnie Moore. Pretty respectable list there, folks, for sure.
Yeah, I was always trying to play. I was on the road a lot for about 16 years solid.
Yeah, and that brings us up to 2006, and Spread Eagle's debut album got a remaster and a re-release by, was it Love Member Records or something like that? I think re-released it for you guys, and you kind of started things up again with Back on the Bitch tour.
Yep, November. Yeah, that's when Ray and I finally realized the inevitable, that we just got to do this again. And Ray and I never had an issue. I don't think we've ever had a fight or an argument or anything like that. But when we stayed in touch, but we weren't like talking all the time, but we'd see each other around New York City and like, hey man, we catch up. And
let's do this thing, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
it's rare that you get a chance in this business to have an identity,
right,
especially nowadays, because everybody's all over the place. It's very incestuous, bands with different singers or that kind of thing. But to keep some original, a creative core together is really special. So we knew that the music is special. We just had to go full circle to find it, to find the love for Spread Eagle music.
Yeah, I think you definitely hit something on that with that. There's so many bands that are still around, and we don't even know if there's still any original members, maybe even in that band anymore, right?
It's just, you don't know who's out there. It's like, where's the original member? There's none in some of them,
Yeah, there's one, maybe like Quiet Riot has one, Foreigner has none.
There's a news story today, Robert, where the band Brittany Fox is booking gigs with no original members. Now, if you're in Foreigner and you have all these hits, I mean, whether you like it or not, Mick is sick. He's got heart problems. I think Lou Graham's back in, or maybe not, but it is what it is. But those are some big songs,
Right, for sure.
Skinner, they stuck it out for all those years, and all those guys passed away, and they brought in Ricky Medlock, and they brought in Ronnie's brother.
Yeah, we talked to Ricky a while back about that. Yeah,
but the band I mentioned, I just forgot their name.
Brittany Fox.
Brittany Fox.
Yeah.
I was going to say Britney Spears.
She's coming back too.
I don't know those guys. I do know the original drummer Johnny D, who's long gone. I don't know those guys. I don't have anything bad to say about them, but they're not really big enough that people would be like, let's go see him to hear those songs.
That's going to be a hard
With
sell,
no
I
original
think, for that.
members.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard sell. And you're so right. A band like Foreigner with all, I mean, you can name hit after hit all day long. We could just name Foreigner hits from the radio. You know what I mean? For me, it's got to be Lou Gramm singing. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But nothing against their current singer.
I'm like
great.
that. I'm a very OG band guy. I like, I'm all for the original voices and things like that. It's great to see bands like Queensryche with Todd doing so well.
Yeah, Todd is great. Todd is
There's
awesome.
some great, and there's some great technicians that carry on the catalog, but they had a lot of catalog. You know what I mean? So it's like a journey thing. You know what I mean? A new singer, but it's a great catalog that everybody knows, and he does it well. So people are just branding over banding sometimes. But Queensryche is awesome.
Yeah, Queensryche. Yeah, they were a tough band for me to go see without Jeff, for sure. But yeah, Todd is great. And you brought up Journey. That's was another super hard deal to go through. You know what I mean? With no Steve Perry, and it was finally like, he's not coming back. It's just the way it is. Arnell sounds great. He's got a great voice. It's just you just don't have that same depth to it. When you don't have the original guy, it's just not there. But yeah.
You lose the story. That's all. You know what I mean? You have the catalog, but you lose the story, that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely one of the hardest things to do to replace a singer. But so catching up here, so 2017, Spread Eagle, as you guys got several tour dates in Europe, including Whole Metal Heaven, HRH Sleaze festivals. You did the Frontiers Music festivals. That had to be an amazing time. And another thing which popped up, which I thought was very cool, an Australian drag racing team on the West Coast Pro modifies their stuff with Sounds of Speed as their official song for 2019-2020. That had to be quite unexpected, having that come up.
Yeah, it's really cool. We have a fan who's his name's Corey. He races cars. He's involved with all that stuff. He's involved with the racing and piloting and sponsoring and all that. And he played. They were looking for a song. He played them that song, and they were like, "Yeah, let's run with it." So he edited a video of it. And it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's in Western Australia, Perth.
Yeah, he's always championed for us to get over there. So one day, hopefully, we'll get over to Australia.
Tell him to get the promoters in line over there, right? I mean, it's so funny. All these fans all the time is like they see different bands put dates out there, like, oh, you're not coming here, you're not coming there, folks. It's not up to the bands. The promoters have to ask them to come there and pay them to go there.
It ain't easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It ain't easy, man.
Right?
We'll play anywhere. Like, we're not, we don't cross anything off our list. So if there's someone who will bring us there, we're coming.
Yeah. Let me add, sometimes we'll play places and we get, thank you guys for coming here. Nobody comes here. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So we just love to gig. We love to gig.
Yeah, some places are very stringent with how much they're gonna pay, or who they're gonna get, or they got a really tight budget and they can't figure stuff out. I always try to put a little bug in the promoters' ears in my area, saying, you might want to look at these people, or you might want to look at these. 4 years ago, I told them you might want to book Sebastian Bach before he blows up again. Oh, too late now. You're not gonna afford him now. But anyway, so another thing I wanted to ask both of you guys, and we'll start wrapping things up here, is we'll start with you, Ray. So I always want to talk about the current thing with AI. It reaches further and further into all aspects of life. What's your concern with it regarding the music business? What's your thoughts around that?
Well, it's just that people have a tendency to get used to what they're fed. And if you feed it AI enough to people, they kind of get used to it and take it as the norm. It's a soulless thing. It's always going to remain a soulless thing. So I really love what we do because it's not a soulless thing. But AI will never have a soul.
True.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, Rob, what's your thoughts on that? Any other comments?
Well, I mean, certain things, if people want to use AI, that's whatever. I think for songwriting, it's strange that you would work your whole life to be an artist and refine and improve your craft consistently, and then hand it over to anything. And the concept of, oh, it'll make it better. No, it'll just make you rely on something else, and it'll change it, you know? So, I mean, if you're a true artist, you want to express your art, and you don't want to give that up. So, and
Yeah.
what Ray said, it starts sounding like, you know, you got all these bands, I won't name them, but they all sound alike these days, these young bands. It's all writing through AI. It's obvious, you know?
Yeah, there's a fear of not being perfect, you know, and rock and roll is about sometimes the perfect imperfections, you know, and I still think that's important. I think what we do is it's becoming a rare thing, you know. So it's about we're not afraid to be imperfect, and that's the whole live show, going without tracks, you know, and things like that. So we're not afraid of that. AI is
Right.
all about being perfect, and you know, you write something that's supposed to be an expression of you, and you go, is that okay? Let me put it in AI. You know what I mean? That's not a true expression of oneself. That's a lie.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. AI is there's no emotional connection between anything they write and their fans or their audience. I think that's the biggest thing, and the tracks thing. I think it's still a big point. It seems like the younger generation is accepting of that. You know, it's been something that's been done in pop music for a long time. You know
Right.
what I mean? But
Again, it's been fed to them
yeah,
over and over again till it's the norm. And you know what I mean? That's what happens. You know, but the kids that are smarter than that, you know, they know. The kids that are go to experience this raw thing, they know they're gonna get fed up and tired of that shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You
I
can't.
think it's a different kind of art, you know, it's a different kind of presentation than what we do. And I think people should say, this is 100% live, which we always do. We try to put that out there for Spread Eagle as much as possible, that what you're seeing is a living, breathing thing, you know, no click, no, it's just 100% live. And no tracks, no AI, you know, we don't write with AI, we're not going to. And, you know, if you do that, if you write with AI, or if you play to backing tracks, you should just say that. And it's like going to see it, like, you know, some kind of play or something, or, you know, a movie. It's
Right.
a different thing than what we are, you know? And that's okay if that's what you do, if that's your thing, but it's not
Right.
our thing. It's
Right,
not
but you
our
should definitely. I agree with you. It should be on there. It should be advertised as this is
Yeah.
this is that, 100%. And they're kind of doing that a little bit now with iTunes, where they're saying if any of this music was created with AI, it's right on the song.
Right. And
I
even
didn't
the
know
live
that.
shows, I see live acts that do run tracks because maybe they do these huge arrangements, you know, these keyboard arrangements, and they don't have a keyboardist
Yeah,
live.
that's a little different, right?
That's
That's a little
different, you know.
different. Yeah,
You're trying to create some ambiance, you know.
right.
That's cool, but you know, I still love the raw live thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
I didn't know that iTunes is starting to label things created with AI. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They announced that a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure the rest of
Fantastic.
the streamers are going to follow suit. I think that's definitely what they need to do.
Good,
100%.
good, good. They'll separate us from the pack even more.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we're talking about the live thing, and the Spread Eagle tour dates keep growing. So you guys hit the road May 3rd, Rob. We were talking about dates earlier. Do you want to go through some of the dates you guys got coming up?
Well, I'm just going to skim through them. We have Baltimore, the Sunday sermon on May 3rd, this Sunday. And then we have Charlotte Rock and Roll Circus on Saturday, June 6th. Then we have our record release parties in Clifton, New Jersey at Dingbats, and Newark, Delaware at halftime in June. Then we have the Rim Rocks Fest in June. Then we go to Europe, and we're playing Slovakia, probably Croatia, Austria, probably Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany, Poland, Finland, Sweden, maybe Norway, England, Scotland, Wales. We're doing it. We're out
You
there.
guys are going to be all over the board. All right. We love that. Very, very cool. All right, folks. The new album, The Brutal Divine, out on June 12th. And you can stream Flat Earth Vultures now. And check out the link to the video, like we said, in our Hall of Video at talkingaboutrock.com. And don't forget to check out those tour dates, like we are just telling you, at spreadeagle.us. All right, very cool. All right, so that wraps up this episode. Thanks to my guests today, Ray West and Rob DeLuca from Spread Eagle, and to our listeners. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Guys, again, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Robert.
What you do is important, man. What you do is important, man. Keep spreading the word. Thank you.
Appreciate it.